I started solo adventuring because I became a bit braver and stronger after I did my first charity trek in 2022, which took me off to Jordan with a group of charity trekkers to raise money for our local hospital. And so I'm Tori, and I'm in my early 50s now, and I mean we've just always loved travel. Always traveled. Met my husband when we were like young, so we've done a lot of traveling together, and we're really keen for that not to stop when we had children. So we're very blessed as a family to have traveled a lot together. But as the years have gone on, obviously, your children grow up as they're supposed to, and they fly the nest, and that leaves you open to the opportunity for more different adventures. So it's in the last few years, it's been my opportunity to do traveling in a different way, in my way. And my way has looked like a couple of different
I love
things.
it.
It's been a little bit more like some solo travel, especially when I've been able to join my husband on a business trip, and then I go off solo
Yeah.
adventuring when he works, which is really fun. But I think really I started solo adventuring because I became a bit braver and stronger after I did my first charity trek in 2022, which took me off to Jordan with a group of charity trekkers to raise money for our local hospital. And it totally pushed me out of my comfort zone. I mean, I didn't own hiking boots. We don't have a dog. I hadn't gone on loads of dog walks or anything like that. And suddenly here I was signed up to do 100-kilometer trek through the Jordanian desert and sleeping in little tents and no toilets and no water and just well, completely outside my comfort zone. And day one and day two, I just didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. And I mean, we laughed a lot, we cried a lot, but mainly laughed. And I just came back feeling just I wanted more adventures and I wanted more travel and so I started a travel website and a travel Instagram with
Yeah,
absolutely no clue, really. I mean, self taught and not really sure what I was going to do with it. And one thing I did learn is that pivoting with ideas is okay, that you start off thinking you do one thing and then
totally.
it changes and you've just got to roll with it and not think of that as a failure, but just thinking it taught you something and now you're going in a different direction. And
Totally.
so, yeah, I kind of continued from there and started documenting things. And now that's kind of grown into two businesses for me as well, which is very exciting.
It is amazing. I'm always in wow, like how did you just jump into this new kind of adventure? Like, you know, how did you even thought, oh, I'm going to go on a charity
Yeah, I
trekking?
think the charity track thing was such a strange one because it was my daughter, well, our youngest daughter came home and she said that her best friend's mum had signed up for this track. And she said, "Do you think you'd like to do something like that?" And I said, "No, like not in a million years." I had no interest in going to Jordan, of going hiking, of doing charity work. Like, none of those things were on my radar, but it was like this little nugget of something just was there. And I thought, would I? Like, our girls are off going to university. Maybe I need something to challenge me. Maybe it's not about being a mum and it's not about being a wife and it's not about, the job that I
Oh, I
do. Maybe
love
it's
that.
about something for like
Yeah.
some time for me to do something that is just pushes me. And it was life changing. I mean, honestly, life changing. I was scared out of my wits. I thought I had done completely the wrong thing by signing up. And when I told my dad said, "Well, if you're not scared, it's not a big enough challenge." And I've
Right.
kind of stuck to those words. And in a lot of ways since then, because that's when you grow, is when you step outside your comfort zone and you try new things. And as it was, I mean, I can't say I loved every minute of it, but I loved what it helped me to learn about myself. And yes, it wasn't something I intended on doing, but I'm so glad I did it. And since then, I've done another trek, sort of again with the same charity. And so last year we went to Colombia into the rainforest, which is completely different again and a very different experience to go and find the lost city. And then next year I'll be doing my third, where we are going to the Indian Himalayas. So yeah, again, another really big trip and altitude to consider. So yeah.
Wow. Well,
Crazy.
and I definitely just agree with you. Like once you step into just one decision that it's really
Yeah,
scary for any reason, then it opens up something inside you, like, I don't know, maybe beliefs that you have inside, or you just start connecting with some skills or parts of yourself that you didn't
yeah,
even know that were there, and you are like
yeah,
more brave. You start to knowing yourself better, who
yeah.
you are, right?
And even the
That's
kind of
amazing.
trips that we've done as a family since then have changed because of my charity trek. So even though I was the one doing it in our family, like the sort of things we went to do, we've been on family trips. And like when we went to Egypt a couple of years ago, we went and climbed Mount Sinai, all together as a family, like leaving at in the late in the evening, traveling overnight, climbing it in the dark so that we could watch sunrise. And we would have never done that as a family. Never. I mean, just not in a million years would that have been a trip. If I saw an excursion list, I would not be thinking about climbing Mount Sinai. But we're so glad we did it. So it just
Yeah,
changes. Once you do one thing, it changes your perspective on lots of things, the excursions you do,
exactly.
the places you go, the types of places you stay. And I love that it's changed so much for me.
Yes, when they say traveling is transformational, they are right.
Yeah,
Like they it
completely.
transform yourself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So let me check my next question because okay, yes. So you have had like so many experiences, but
Mm.
and I truly believe that every experience is special and has something that connects us with experience. But there is always one or two or three experiences that are more close to our hearts for any reasons. Do you have like one or two or three top experiences that meant
Um, yeah, I
more
think
to
that
you?
funny enough, two of the like most, I guess, magical moments for me were both on our daughter's 21st birthday. So the first one was when I was in Jordan, and actually we shouldn't have been in Jordan for our daughter's 21st birthday. She should have been there for her 20th, but because of COVID, our trip got delayed by a year.
Oh.
And it was her 21st birthday, and I was completely homesick and physically broken and thinking this was just so hard and horrible. But I was on the top of a mountain and I managed to call her and wish her happy birthday because there was finally a signal. And that evening, um, my really good Trek friend um, and we took our little cans of gin and tonic and our two little copper mugs, and we climbed on these massive boulders and we just sat in the Jordanian desert with this amazing view and just like cheersing our daughter's 21st birthday and just feeling completely overwhelmed with what we were achieving, where we were, thinking that we were two mums who had met each other on the sidelines of our daughter's football pitches. And here we were having this adventure in a Jordanian desert. So like that was a just really special moment for so many different reasons. And then a couple of years later, um, our youngest daughter turned 21, and we were on a family holiday to Bali. And we organized a surprise. So we all knew everywhere we were going, apart from where we were staying for her 21st birthday. And we stayed in this amazing, like little tiny house, all made of bamboo, with the big canopy nets and the views over the rice paddies, and it was like there was nobody in sight and it was just the four of us, and it was completely magical because the view was incredible and the house was just not like anything we'd ever stayed in, and being together as a family was just incredible too. So those kind of things are always special, and then I always like something when you have a bit of a surprise. So one time we went skiing as a family to Austria, and we'd heard about a really great restaurant that you could get some fantastic Austrian traditional food. And so we took the taxi up to get our dinner. And then
Yeah.
the most amazing thing was at the end of the meal, you went outside, you went to the garage and
Yeah.
down in the basement, and you picked up a sled each. And then you sled all the way down. It was like several kilometers all the way down in the dark, the four of us, right back to the village, which is just such a fun thing to do at the end of a meal. It was just so fun. Yeah, it was something unexpected, and I think something unexpected is sometimes a really good thing.
Yes, that sounds amazing. And uh, what I'm hearing here is like it's actually the balance, right? Like you organize this little cozy, invited this cabin for the birthday and everything, but also leaving room for unexpected, for
Yeah,
things just
yeah.
to happen and surprise you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I
this.
completely agree. Like on the Bali trip, we end up having the most amazing meeting a most amazing guy who had this tiny restaurant. We were practically the only people in it. He was just down the road from where we were staying, and we ended up because we went for dinner there and getting to know him and making that connection with him. Him inviting us. He was in charge of like the local temple, and so the next morning we're up at 7 o'clock and he invited us to come and have and sort of see all the festivities are in place. And it was just amazing to go somewhere with a real local and not a formal guide, but
Yeah.
just because you got talking over dinner and we got to do something really, really special. So yeah, I think you're right. I think I mean, I'm a big travel planner, and I think that it's great to have plans. But yeah, leaving some room for the unexpected, and be willing to go with the unexpected, and like embrace the unexpected as well.
So let's use this inspiration to talk about what your projects, because they are related with this.
Yeah, yeah. So as I've said before, I started this travel website and a travel Instagram, and but with no idea what was I going to do with that. I mean, was it going to be a business? I really had no clue. And then somebody actually reached out to me over Instagram and said to
Yeah.
me, "Please tell me that you sell travel because." Like you've been so many places and you've obviously organized amazing trips for your family and friends,
Yeah,
so, like,
that's
do
true.
you sell travel? Have you thought about selling travel? And honestly, it was like the penny dropped, and I thought, yeah, why am I not organizing trips for other people? Because I love doing it. And the thing is, for me, it's a pleasure, and I love investigating and researching. But not everyone does. Some people hate having 50 tabs open and comparing and contrasting and doing all the research. Some people just want to go away on a trip and they don't want to do the organizing or the planning, or they don't have
Yeah,
time, or they don't have the experience, or they want to go somewhere where they've
exactly.
never been before and they're a little overwhelmed and they don't know where to start. So basically, I signed up to become an independent travel agent, which is just the most amazing thing because I can do it from anywhere in the world. So it doesn't stop me from going on my own trips. And as long as I've got my laptop and a VPN on my laptop, I can
Oh,
book trips
yes,
for anyone
yes.
anywhere. And it's fantastic because it doesn't cost anyone to use my services. There's commission built into all forms of travel anyway. So I'm just getting the commission that if somebody booked through other providers or travel
Yeah.
agents or whatever, they would be getting the commission, but in this case I'm getting the commission, so it doesn't cost anyone, but it means that I've now got this opportunity to like get people's wish list, this their bucket list to travel, and
Yeah.
like book some amazing things, and research things that in some cases I haven't done, or I haven't even heard of some of the things that clients want to do, but that's just amazing for me. The only trouble is that my bucket list keeps getting longer because every time I'm doing something for somebody else, I'm thinking, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like to go there as well. So yeah, so becoming a travel agent happened like in summer of 24. And then this year I decided to kind of take it a step further again, which means that now I'm able to sort of help other people become travel agents. So because sometimes there are people who they actually like booking travel themselves, and
Yeah.
they want somebody else to do it for them. But the thing is that they could be making commission back on the travel that they're taking for themselves. Or they could be
Yeah.
doing bookings for other people and making money that way. So they literally could be earning money from travel they're already doing. So now I'm in a position that I can help people do that and show people, how it works, introduce them to the
Yeah.
system that I'm under, the company I'm part of, and they can do it however they want. It's still their own business. Um, And because I'm passionate about it, and because I've been doing it for more than a year, I feel like I've got the experience now to be able to help other people do what
Yes.
I'm doing. So yeah, it's really exciting.
I am excited for you because, and also for the people who are going to be working with you on that, because I truly believe that you just have just so much experience and you just know so much. It's like, as I said, every time we just have conversations, you just know so much about how doing this in a proper way, like with a balance, as we were saying, of okay, let's
Yeah.
organize this. But I know you did not so long ago a trip to Portugal, I believe, and you
Yes.
prepare all this trip for your
Yeah.
family or friends,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And but you also added this these surprises, like
Yeah.
this dash of a dash
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
adventure,
Yeah,
but also a dash of
I guess it's
surprise.
in my name, a dash of adventure. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we did a big multi-generation trip for our family, and which was just super fun to organize because you got so many different people to cater for, different ages, different likes and preferences. And so we
Yeah.
did a multi-center Portugal trip. But I'd seen different activities, and there are, things spark you and you think, oh, so and so would
Mhm.
love that. So I thought, actually, we don't all need to do the same thing. So we just did it. I just left it as a surprise day on the itinerary. And
Lovely.
then the first night when we were away, I told everyone what their surprise was. So everyone went, I sort of mixed up everybody, and we all went off in our different groups. And then it was so fun coming back that evening and just like again making dreams come true. And like for my husband, he's a big surfer, so we went. Like the trip was to go to Nazaré in Portugal, where the 100-foot waves roll in, and for him that was just like a real bucket list thing to go and see and do. So yeah, it was just really really special to have some surprises as well. I like to have a dash of adventure and a little bit of surprise in a trip as well.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I really think that it's going to be super special once the people who are going to be doing this with it. Like, I'm your number one cheerleader and your number one fan, and it's like, okay, now let me check what's my next question for
Yeah,
you.
sure.
Okay, so yes, you know that I started traveling my way because connections, like connections are
Yeah.
super important for me. Like I believe that connection should be natural and just this spark with the joy and just wanting to what how is this has been for you with your travels. Have you connected with new people? How do you feel about connections when you are traveling?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest experience with connections is when you do something like a charity trek. You're a group of people, you're from different walks of life, you're different ages, and that's such a great way to get to know people. And you have the highs and lows in a trip. And I think that that's the sort of thing that so many people can experience now with their travel, because there's a lot of kind of what's in the travel industry is called deemed soft adventure. So you're having an adventure holiday, but it's organized to a great extent so that solo travelers can go. And a little bit like it's sort of very popular for the kind of 18 to 30 age group. There's so many more companies now that do it for older people as well, where
Yeah.
you can go and you can travel in a group and you can get to meet people. There are people from different countries coming and joining the trips. So, for example, I had a client recently who did a walking holiday in Turkey, and she just said it was completely amazing to meet different people from different countries. You're all walking, you're doing the same trip, but actually, what she loved was the communication and what she learned from those other fellow travelers. So I think that's really lovely, but also just asking the connections you make, asking questions of the locals. So like always asking the people that you meet, like I love going to a food market, but asking those food vendors, like,
Yeah,
well, if I'm going to
true.
go and take this food for a picnic now, where would you go? Or which restaurants do you go to? Not necessarily the ones that are top of TripAdvisor, but where would you go and eat? And
Yes,
just
right.
asking the locals is just such a great thing to do. or the
Mm.
connections you make with your guides. If you do, I mean, I do love a good walking tour, food tour. I'm really keen on those sorts of trips, but again, it's really great if you get a good guide. They're so happy to send you links of the places that they like to go, the things you should go and see, or the things you should eat.
Yes.
When we were in Japan recently, I went on a like a long trip on my like a organized trip to go and
Hmm.
explore some of the area. And our guide was fantastic, and she even sent recommendations of exactly which restaurants and which dishes to order in the restaurants. And I ended up with some amazing food just because she took the time to share her favorite things
Yes,
with me. So, like, yeah, just I think just asking those questions of the locals, because they love sharing too. You know, they're there. They want
totally.
you to love their country, their city. They're just some of the best connections. I like, yeah, fellow travelers and the locals.
Yes, I agree. Like there is something, this mindset, something shifts inside us, and that maybe it reflects on the others that, they take, even when they are super busy, they take time to just
Yeah,
be with you in that moment, which
yeah,
is
sure.
rare because in our daily life, people are always so busy and we are always so busy that we don't have the time to stop for a minute and just really,
Yeah,
be with the
yeah,
other person.
yeah.
So, where is Tori focused today? Which is your
Well, I focus, I mean, I was really hoping to be able to spend more time on and helping other people become travel agents. But that said, I happen to have had a flurry of like bookings for people to make. So I'm kind of busy doing both those things, trying to wear two hats, and also actually learning about the ways of running a business successfully as well, because I mean,
yes.
that's the great thing, that it is my own business too. But there's lots of things, lots of hats you have to wear,
True.
whether it's social media or, well, just all kinds of things. And networking with people, which is kind of fun, but a little bit different for me. So yeah, I'm like focused on, um, I really want to get more people doing what I'm doing, because I can just see so many people where they would have a benefit. So yeah, from a business side, all of those things, and then always a trip in the making. There's always a trip or many on the horizon for me or my family. Always something to be planning.
Of course, yes.
Mhm.
I love that. Like you have the adventure in your veins. I don't know if it's been like that
Yeah.
since
You know, the thing
forever
is
or
that
recently,
I
but
do now, but I wouldn't have said I did. So I just think that yeah, I'm more adventurous in my 50s than I was in my 20s. So who knows what I'll be like at 80.
I love that. Yes, life changes and we change and we
Yeah,
just start to open up for things to happen and just to
yeah,
have new experiences. So that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
So just before we go, one last question to go. We want your suggestion. So let's
Yeah.
say one or two places to go if you're just starting with this solo traveler,
Mhm.
your adventure as a solo traveler. Do you want to just a quick trip because I don't know, you have just a long weekend and you
Mhm.
want to get the most out of it, and one or two places for long stays, 15 or more days, because
Mhm.
you are not going to get bored,
Mm.
please.
Mm. Okay. Um, well, so to tie maybe one and two a little bit together, I think that the best thing probably for solo travel, and certainly the way I really started with that, was choosing a relatively small, safe city. So, I mean, one of my favorite cities is Seville, and or like maybe Lisbon, cities that are really walkable, and cities that are very friendly and very safe. Because I think that a city is
Yeah.
that you can walk around means you can really explore without pushing yourself too far out of your comfort zone, with lots of different
Yeah.
travel styles. Maybe you're not ready yet for navigating train systems and metros and everything else. So if it's small enough to walk around, then that's a great thing. And also by walking around, it gives you the opportunity to notice something and think, oh, there's a market on, let's call in and let's stop at the market. So I think a small city is a great place to start solo travel. And I think that if you haven't got very much time somewhere, I think the best thing that you can do is go book yourself on something like a food walking tour, because I think you always within a food walking tour get somebody talking about the culture, the history,
Yeah,
as well
sure.
as the food. But you've also got somebody who's going to give you recommendations, and that you're going to try all these different things. And for me, eating and drinking is always a massive part of wherever we
Yeah.
go. So you get to try all these different things, and then you'll also get great recommendations of where to go next. So I think something like a food walking tour right at the beginning of a trip sets you up for, or like it gives you lots of ideas of what to do
Yeah.
next. And then at the end of a trip, I would always find somewhere where you can go up high. And by that, I mean go up the spire of a cathedral or a big church, or one of the viewing platforms
Mm,
somewhere. Because once you've
yeah.
investigated a city, then you go up high. It's so amazing to look back down on the city and think, I've been over there, I've been over here. Oh, that's where we had that restaurant. If you do
Yeah,
that at the beginning of the trip, you don't really know what you're looking at, because you haven't
true.
explored it yet. So do that at the end of the trip,
Yeah.
and then like take those pictures, because those pictures you'll remember all the bits of the city you got to go and explore. So I think they'd be my advice for solo and making the most of things. And then I think one of our most favorite recent trips, where we were away for 3 weeks, was Bali.
Bali.
We
Yeah.
just fell in love with Bali. It was such an amazing place to visit. People are so friendly. It's really, really cheap when you're there. So it means that you can, because it's not an expensive place to be, you can fit so much in. You can get into
Yeah.
things. You can go snorkeling with dolphins. You can do walks.
Um,
You can go to have like water rituals. Eating out is fantastic. And you can do things like take day trips off to see other islands, or you can do like we did. We went and took a boat over to the Gili Islands, which again is a very different
nice.
type of like almost a holiday within a holiday. And it was really inexpensive to get around. So like getting a grab car between four people to go for several hours, even somewhere the other side of the island, was really inexpensive. So Bali just it offered us everything, and we just absolutely loved it. So many different types of places to stay, suits all different sorts of budgets. And yeah, your money goes a
I
really
need
long
to
way in
go.
Bali once you're there.
I need to go. I haven't been there yet,
Oh,
but
you'll
it's
love it.
of course my bucket list, yes.
Yeah, add that on
So
the list, because it's really fantastic.
I love that. I love all of the recommendations. So you're so true about finding a place to eat and try the food from the place. I mean, you
Yeah,
need to if you're there, yes.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Tori. I love you. I
You're
think
so
you're
welcome.
awesome.
Thank
You
you.
know that from the very first time we met. I just love you, and I'm going to be sharing all your links, of course, for people to reach out to
Yeah,
go and
fantastic.
connect
Yeah.
with you. And also, you are on our top advisors program, so people also
I
can
am.
just reach out to you to talk about everything
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
traveling,
Yeah.
trips,
Yeah,
starting,
I
I don't
love
know,
anything travel related.
business.
Yeah. I love chatting travel.
I love it. Thank you so, so, so much, Tori. I'm going to stop
Thanks.
the recording.